This time of the year, we're looking for Coquillettidia perturbans, commonly referred to as the cattail mosquitoes. We go into breeding sites like this, which we do treat throughout the year, but the thing that makes cattail mosquitoes special is they have a specialized siphon that they can insert into the roots of cattail plants. And this allows them to live through the winter time. So the challenge for them is they're much harder to find than your normal nuisance mosquitoes. So we have to go in to these sites. We take our cattail dippers with us, which has a sieve on the bottom here. And we get underneath the cattail roots and we try and knock loose as much mud and detritus and debris as we can, and we sort of shake it out almost like you're panning for gold. And then you'll see the cattail mosquitoes floating up to the top, and then we can have an idea of whether they're present or not. The normal nuisance mosquitoes that we treat for, they actually lay their eggs on the dry ground outside of an area that they know is going to flood. Then when the rain comes down, typically we treat after we have a rain event of 1 inch or more, it will flood up to those eggs. Those eggs will then hatch and they'll be able to go into the site. Versus the Coquillettidia perturbans, the cattail mosquitoes, they will fly into a site in an open area, sometimes on these floating mats. They lay an egg raft, and then those larvae swim underneath the vegetation, and then they hide under there through the winter time until their peak emergence in the summer. That's why we do have to treat for them in either the spring or the fall. So with cattail mosquitoes, you'll get one brood throughout the year. And we measure that there's a peak emergence. It typically starts towards the end of June and into the first week of July. So they tend to, come out right for their 4th of July barbecue. Once we find cattail mosquitoes, then it's just a matter of determining how we want to apply the larval control treatment to it. For the ones that are a couple hundred acres, we apply larval control materials by helicopter in areas that our technicians go through. They map out, they find what spots are breeding, what spots are dry, so they can tell exactly where the helicopter needs to drop that material. If it's a smaller site, one that we can treat by hand, sometimes inspectors will just go out with a bucket and hand treat it. Other times we do have a backpack that can dispense material a little bit faster than you can by hand. We typically like to do treatments for them either in the springtime or in the fall. We have to do a little bit more of a concentrated treatment in those sites just because they are underneath the roots and are a little bit harder to get to.